Hello everybody, it's Adam here. In this video today, I want to talk about momentum. Have you ever found yourself, maybe you get into a routine, maybe you're sticking to some new habits and things like that, and then you find yourself at some point going back to old behaviors, going back to old habits that you're looking to change. Now, some of the reason why this can happen is because when you're reaching new paradigms in life, when you're getting out of your comfort zone, you see, we're used to living in a certain way. We're used to behaving in a certain way. And when we start to try to change our behaviors, sometimes we can hit success barriers or mental blockages that want to pull us back to our comfort zone, even if that place isn't actually beneficial for us. Even if our life would be a lot better if we lived it in a different way, our mind starts to feel uncomfortable because we're just used to being or doing those kinds of things. We're used to feeling a certain way. So when we start to actually maybe even improve our lives and we start experiencing joy and fulfillment and meaning in our lives, that's foreign to us, especially if you're coming from a place maybe where you grew up in chaos, where you grew up in a place where you were maybe uncertain about what the future was going to hold. You grew up in an unstable home, maybe. And then when you start to live with stability, when you actually start to maybe save money and your finances are good, that feels threatening because we're not used to that, even though our lives are actually improving. Our lives would be better. So your emotions are kind of lying to you in a way. Just because you feel maybe worse in a way where you feel uncomfortable, let's say, that doesn't necessarily mean that your external reality is a reflection of how you feel. Your life could actually be getting better. You could be saving money. You could be becoming having more stability in your life. You could be getting more results with women, maybe in all different areas of your life, whatever that may be. But it feels uncomfortable because it's different. You're not used to that new way of living, and your mind basically says to itself, hey, you've been living the way that you've been living up until now, and you've been surviving, because that's what your mind wants to do. It wants to survive and keep you alive. That's all it cares about. It doesn't care if you're thriving. So it says, hey, you've lived this long safely and you've survived. What do you think you're doing trying to change your behaviors? What do you think you're doing trying to create a new reality for yourself, or hitting different paradigms and new possibilities? Let's stay the same. Let's go back to the old behaviors. We know that that's safe. We know that that's what's kept you alive up until now. So understand that your emotions could be lying to yourself, could be lying to you, and it doesn't necessarily mean that that's a bad thing. So look at the external results that you're getting. The internal results you're getting are also important, but also what is happening externally. Are you sticking to the behaviors that are likely to get you the results that you want to get, whether that's financially, whether that's in relationships? And it doesn't always feel good. Now, what I want to talk about, though, was momentum, because I find myself, and I've had this pattern happen to me even, where I get into momentum. Maybe it's where I'm building new habits for myself, new routines, new processes. I'm sticking to that. Maybe I'm marking off red X's on my calendar, trying to chain those together, keeping track of the progress that I'm making. And then I find that sometimes I'll slip back into old behaviors. And you don't want to get down on yourself, because life is a continual process. There's always going to be that temptation. There's always going to be that pull to go back to your comfort zone or to take the easy route, because everything in life must be earned, whether that's building up your income for yourself, whether that's creating the job that you want for yourself, whether that's creating an abundant dating life for yourself. You have to continually get out there on a consistent basis and put in the work every day, ideally, to build the life that you want to build for yourself, to build the skills you want to build for yourself. It takes massive amounts of repetition and massive amounts of action on a regular basis to reach the highest levels of skill that you maybe see somebody that you look up to. That's what it takes. And it's no different for anybody else. Everything must be earned. So this momentum that you build, whether that's maybe it's just one moment where you say to yourself, you're like, I don't want to eat junk food, and then you have that pull to eat junk food. Or maybe it's, I don't want to drink coffee, and there's that pull to drink the coffee. Or maybe it's the watching the porn and the jacking off, and you don't do it in that moment. That's momentum that you've just built. You're building emotional strength, you're building emotional stamina, emotional resilience. And that's a lot of what this is in the dating game too. And make no mistake, it takes work. Now, you can watch videos like myself. I'm sharing my ideas, experiences, things that have worked for me based on my 13 years of experience of actually going out and pushing myself to talk to women and cultivating the dating life that I want for myself and getting results in that area for myself, or whether that's reflecting back on my athletic pursuits when I was younger, when I was trying to pursue being a professional skateboarder and getting results in that area, even before I had all the education and knowledge about skill acquisition and all different kinds of fields in psychology and peak performance and these kinds of areas of education, and still reaching quite a high level of skill in that area, and then being able to then reflect on that and then learning all the things that I've learned now at this stage of my journey and going through the dating process and getting results in that area. And you see that it takes practice, it takes repetition. That's how you build a skill. And then momentum, you don't want to throw that momentum away. When you build that momentum, when you've gone a week, when you've gone 2 weeks, when you've gone a month of sticking to your process, of sticking to new routines, of building new habits for yourself, don't just throw that away easily. It's easier to just keep going than it is to give it up. You can destroy something a lot quicker than it takes to build something. So when you've gone that long, nourish that momentum that you're building. Appreciate that momentum that you've built, because it's significant, and you should really appreciate that momentum. Don't just let it go so easily. Understand that whatever that took you to get into that momentum, a mindset shift, maybe it was months or years to get to the point where you finally decided, I'm going to quit this behavior, and you do it. Don't give that up so easily. Understand that is, it's a big deal when you end up getting into momentum. And also, don't beat yourself up when you do slip, because the temptation's always going to be there. And understand that you can get back on track, that you are building that emotional muscle, that mental muscle, to be able to build new habits, build new processes, build new routines. So don't beat yourself up, and learn from the mistakes, learn from failure. Just like when you go out and you're talking to women, or you're going out in the night and you're pushing yourself to get out of your comfort zone, socialize, talking to people that intimidate you, freely expressing yourself, getting unstifled, challenging yourself in all different areas in your personality, how you convey yourself, your actions, your different skill sets and attributes and things that you're working on when you go out. Understand that when you're doing that, when you're pushing yourself in this regard, that the momentum that you're building up, it's significant, and just the same as when you're going out and doing these things, and when you get rejected by women, or nothing seems to go anywhere, that's still something you can learn from. Even if you go out and you don't talk to anybody in a night, that you can still learn from that. There is no failure. There's only learning. And failure is never going to stop. However, understand that the more work that you put in, everything must be earned. The more work you put in, the more consistent, the longer you can be consistent in your actions, that is how you're going to see results for yourself. You're not going to see results, or at least you're not going to get maybe the results, or maybe you're not getting the results that you want. But understand, it's maybe because it's a likely inconsistency. It's likely that you're not really challenging yourself. You're not really pushing your comfort zone. You're not trying to be introspective and looking at where the resistance lies. Where does the challenge lie? Are you pushing yourself? When a challenging situation comes up, do you push yourself a little bit more? When you get tired in the night and you say, I think I'm going to go home, it's good enough. Or do you push yourself a little bit more? Or do you stay out till the bitter end and you don't stop approaching, you don't quit until either you get a result or until there's no opportunities left for you to capitalize on? That's the difference between a guy that's going to get the kinds of experiences that he wants and the guy that's not getting the experiences that he wants. It's likely that you're not really challenging yourself. You're not pushing yourself. There's many, many things that you could be doing. It's never an excuse. There is no excuses. That's the mindset you take on. No excuses. Whatever the challenge is, whatever my disadvantage is that I think that I have, I focus on what's within my control and I work to develop those areas that I'm lacking in, whether that's my finances, whether that's my health, whether that's the relationships in my life. So understand that everything must be earned. Nothing is going to come easy. Whether that's your finances, you got to keep getting up early in the morning. If that's what it takes, you got to get up early and you got to make the time to make progress in all areas that you're looking to make progress in. And if that means having to get up early so that you can make the time to put towards each and every area, each and every sector of your life that you're looking to develop in, then that's what you're going to have to do. And if you're not willing to do that, if you're not taking responsibility for how you spend your time, for how you spend your money, for the actions that you take, if you're not willing to take responsibility, well then then basically don't make excuses or continue to be a victim. Which, if you're watching this video, it's likely that you're not having that mindset, because you're probably out there trying to search for answers and you're looking to improve yourself and improve your life. But somebody that's making excuses, that they're in a victim mode, and I know what that's like because I grew up having that type of mentality, even though I wasn't aware of it. And that's why this area can be very healthy in the sense that you can use it as a self-development tool, where you go out, push yourself to talk to women, push yourself to get out of your comfort zone, developing yourself socially. It pushes you mentally. You get stronger, more resilient in your psyche, in your mentality, and that's what this teaches you. And so and that's why it's so rewarding. And the social skills are involved in everything that you do. If you can improve in this area, it's going to help you improve in all areas of your life. But just the same as if you were to develop a skill, whether if you're looking to build muscle or whether you're looking to develop skills in some athletic pursuit, it's no different than going out and socializing. The more that you do something, the better that you're going to get at it. But then, of course, just doing the same thing and expecting different results, that's not going to work either. You got to be challenging yourself. There's always another level. And then even to stay on top takes massive amounts of effort. But you can get there too. You can live an amazing life for yourself, whatever that is for you. You're not going to compare yourself to other people's lives. You're not going to live the same life as somebody else. You're not going to have the exact same results as somebody else, but you can get results that are meaningful and magnificent for you and your life, whatever that is. And you can have an amazing life for yourself. Like Jim Rohn, one of Tony Robbins' mentors, said you can always do better than you're doing today. But it takes work. It takes effort. You got to get out there and put in the reps and put in the practice. Nothing's just going to come to you from nothing. No one is coming to save you. No one is coming to put you on. You got to make things happen for yourself. So then you take responsibility for your actions. You take responsibility for your life and for the results that you're getting. And if you're not getting the results you want, then you keep tweaking and optimizing your behaviors. You continue to work on cultivating optimal habits, optimal processes, optimal routines. That's another thing I wanted to say, is that if you're not having processes and habits and routines that you're executing on a daily basis, where you're making schedules, you're analyzing what you're doing with your time, you're analyzing what you're doing with all the advantages that you have for yourself, whether that's your mental capital, your financial capital, your your time capital. These things are invaluable. other than the financial capital. But you know what I mean, right? What I'm trying to say though is that everyone has the same amount of time. What are you doing with your time? Take the time to make a schedule. Take the time to develop processes for yourself and habits and routines that you can enjoy for the sake in themselves, and that also are likely to get you the results that you're looking to get down the road. But realize that's not a guarantee. But then that's why you want to enjoy the moment, and you want to have routines and processes that you can enjoy for themselves, but then that are likely to get you the result further down the road. But understand too, if you're not doing this and you're just living basically at the whim of whatever you're feeling in the moment, and that's again, whatever you're feeling doesn't necessarily, just because you feel bad doesn't necessarily mean your external life is bad. Just because you feel good, like when you smoke weed or do drugs, doesn't mean that your external life is good. Your external life could be going to shit. But understand, if you're sticking to these processes and routines and habits, that you eventually are going to get those wins. But you don't know necessarily when they're going to come. That's why you just stick to the process. You stick to the routines. You stick to the habits, putting away a little bit of money, making sure that you're doing your approaches, getting the phone numbers, continuously filling your funnel. And then when you want to have an intimate experience, when you would like to go traveling, when you would like to do something, now you can do it because you've been consistent in your actions and you have the capital saved up. You have the relationship capital built up as well, which means you've been going out, you've been talking to girls, you have phone numbers, you've been going on dates. Maybe you even have now some girls that you can see on a regular basis because you've been sticking to the process. You've been sticking to the habits and the routines for yourself on a regular basis, on a daily basis. You know exactly what you're doing with your time. You know exactly what you're doing on a weekly basis, a monthly basis, a yearly basis perhaps. And that's what it takes. There is no excuses. You're not getting results because you're not doing everything in your power to succeed. You want to make excuses. You want to play video games. Well, take responsibility for that. Admit it. Be honest with yourself. That's what I do. If I'm saying, I'm not getting the results I want, well, hey, I chose to sleep in today. I chose not to work on my paperwork. I chose not to put away some money in the bank. I chose not to go out to the bars and to the clubs and continuously talk to people. I chose not to talk to people when I was out in the day and I saw that girl that I was interested in speaking with. But I didn't go speak with her. I chose not to do that, and that's why I don't have the opportunity to then go have that intimate experience or to go travel if I feel like traveling. And I admit that. I say, hey, I could have done more. I can still do more. But I'm not making excuses. I'm not saying I don't have this because my finances or this or that. Go make more money. Go get a job. Save money. Discipline yourself. Build up the characteristics that are likely to get you the results. The people that are succeeding, they have discipline. They have characteristics, habits, processes, routines that they're sticking to on a regular basis. Give credit where credit's due. People aren't just given things. People have results, maybe more results than you have because they're taking different actions than you are. So admit it. Be honest with yourself. So then if you're not getting results, you just say, hey, I didn't want it enough. I guess I didn't want it enough. And it's not good enough to just want it. You got to put in the work. Don't be afraid of the work. That's why people get needy and desperate for a girl, because they're afraid of the work. They want that girl to just be available and just to come over and fulfill them instead of taking responsibility for their own lives and their own happiness and their own fulfillment. And they don't want to go out and put in the work. It's challenging. You got to push yourself. You got to get out of your comfort zone. You got to be uncomfortable. You got to take risks. It's tough. But then if you can learn to appreciate that and realize that it's a gift, that you even have the opportunity to put in the work, that one day you're not going to even be able to get to work towards your goals or even have the ability to put in work because you're going to get old and eventually you're going to die one day, then you learn to appreciate that and understand too that then that's actually gives you an advantage when you are willing to put in the work. because most people aren't willing to put in the work. Most people are going to quit. Most people are going to make excuses and they're going to give up. So that actually gives you an advantage. Now, if you understand too that getting help, getting coaches, this can be massively beneficial for your success. Having someone to give you external feedbacks, having somebody to give you basically highlight maybe blind spots in your life or give you honest feedback about maybe what you're doing wrong, or giving you a strategy, or having someone to mastermind with, and how beneficial this is. Just like a boxer has coaches, basketball, they have coaches, people at all the highest levels get coaches, then hit me up. I got 13 years of experience in this area. I'll put all my information in the description below. You can reach me at datingdestruction@gmail.com. Like and subscribe the video. If you want to see more content like this, leave a comment. And until next time, peace out, my friends.